通信連絡が止まらない。緊急なのはわかるが、作業時間が終わってからかけてほしいところだな。マックスウェル？誰だろ？ルーカスの上司じゃないか？
Hello? Jan Dolsky. Finally. I've been impatient to meet you. Yeah, sure. You that big fish Lucas was mumbling about? Terrence Maxwell. But yes, I am both his and your superior at mining operations. First of all, my heartfelt condolences. Losing the whole crew must have been hard on you.
仲間のことをほとんど知らないとはいえ、きついね。
Yeah, I still can't get over it. Their families have been informed. They're grief-stricken, as you can imagine. But the deaths of their loved ones will go down in history as part of a pioneering discovery. Your discovery. So, do people know I found Rapidium? We're keeping the news within a very limited circle. It's only wise for the time being.
確かにまだ成功したと決まったわけじゃないしね。
Of course. Yeah. No reason to get everyone hyped up. Might still fail. I can see you're a grown man, Jan. And you understand the stakes. Don't want to put pressure on you, but... failure is not an option. That's why you had me create my altars? You'd rather let me lose my mind than lose the Rapidium? It was a long shot, I admit. But we were saving both. Rapidium and you, Jan. Do you think it was a mistake?
いいや、満足してるよ。
No. I'm glad I did it. You certainly have a chance to experience something extraordinary. Many people would envy you. Let's just get one thing straight, Maxwell. I know you expect things of me, but I'm no hero. Ah, heroism. Are you familiar with the works of Albert Camus?
アルベルト・カミュ？誰それ？
Albert who? A great writer and philosopher. Camus believed heroism was easy, accessible. For him, it was living a normal man's life that was a true challenge. Being decent. Doing the right thing. You are the first person to prove that we can actually excavate Rapidium in quantities that can really make a difference. A dream the biggest corporations have been chasing for over a decade now. Constantly failing. You say you're not a hero? Well, maybe I don't need you to be one. Maybe you should just carry on being a decent man, Jan Dolsky.
世辞はいいから本題に入ってほしいな。やることが多いんだから。
Okay, you're buttering me up for something big here. Let's cut to the chase. Hard-headed. I like that. You've probably noticed how different Rapidium looks in reality than on the training materials they showed you. Why is that? It changes form constantly. Its chemical structure is so volatile that it is almost impossible to capture two particles in the same state. A fleeting substance. Spectacular. But also very unstable.
どういう原理でなのかわかる？
How come it works then? Not enough tests were run to explain that. The only sample ever found in space was researched inside a mobile base like your own, but it never made it back to Earth. It lasted long enough to demonstrate its amazing qualities, only to disintegrate somewhere between the Copernicus and the Hyades cluster.
つまりラピディウムを運んでいる間に蒸発すると？
So, you're afraid the Rapidium I found might not withstand the journey? I know it won't. That's why we came up with a special container for it. An ark.
You mean like a box?
A hermetic module dedicated specifically to storing and transporting rubidium. We have blueprints for it. Lucas should send the necessary data over to you by the time we finish talking. Constructing a rubidium ark should be your primary focus now.
わかった。すぐに取り掛かるよ。
Sounds like a big task. I should get to it straight away.
It is a big task, Jan. But it's worth every effort. I hope you realize the gravity of the moment.
I thought you said you didn't want to put pressure on me.
You're right. Lucas said you had questions. Is there anything you'd like to ask me?
一応オルターがどうなるかを聞かせてくれ。
What will happen to my altars when we get back?
I don't know. Yet. I don't need to tell you this is unprecedented. There are no good practices here. But I know one thing. You can trust me and Lucas completely. But if anyone else contacts you, it's absolutely vital you don't tell them anything about the existence of the altars.
What? Why?
You know very well why, Jan. The law has been violated.
I thought Lucas said the branching was authorized.
You haven't been listening. There are no procedures for this sort of situation. There is no one who can officially authorize such an act. At the end of the day, it was your decision to branch yourself. It will be in your best interest to keep that in mind when considering the consequences.
I don't like the sound of this.
We will come back to it later, I'm sure. Right now, I'll have to leave you shortly. Is there anything else?
分岐のことも知りたい。
The branching procedure. There's a story there. Tell me.
It is something that has been tested long ago within Ally Corp. But for completely different reasons and, as you can imagine, in a much more rudimentary fashion.
Altering mind records? For whom?
I'm sorry, Jan. It's highly classified and I already told you too much. I think you deserve answers, but regarding this matter, like I said, things were tested, just for a while. Not much came of it. Now, I'd love to keep on chatting, but I really will need to be ending this call soon. Do you have any more questions?
着陸時に何が起こったんだ？
Do you know what happened to my crew?
Lucas showed me the records. I have a theory, but it's more of a hunch. I don't have any hard proof to support it.
What is it?
Well, I think it might have been the quantum processing unit that killed them.
What? But that's... No, that's crazy.
Do you read detective stories, Jan? The culprit always needs to have two things. A motive and a means. Well, it certainly had a means to do it.
But why?
Like I said, it's just a hunch. I'm afraid I won't have much more time for now, Jan. Do you have any other questions?
今聞きたいことはそれくらいかな。
I'm good.
Rubidium Arc, Jan. That's what you should focus on right now. Your secret is safe with me and Lucas. Once you come back with a remedy for Earth's ailments, nobody will think of punishing you for how you got it. Remember, just do the right thing. Now, I really have to go, but it was a pleasure talking to you, and we will talk more, I promise. Until then.
危機的状況なのにラピディウムアークを作れときたか。私に拒否権はあんまりないからね。救助をよこすのもあいつ次第だもんな。この星で永住サバイバルは厳しいわ。これがラピディウムアークだね。金属30、ラピディウム120、有機物100か。 現状の人手を考えると重いな。やあ、おはよう。
Hey, how are you feeling? Well, I'll be damned. You okay? Surprisingly okay. Especially considering what I'm seeing. Very clearly. Good. Do you, remember your name? Of course. But... I think you know perfectly well who I am. So let's not waste time. Just tell me, how much did you find? What? How much rupidium is there? Did we get a breakthrough?
山ほど見つかったよ。
Yeah, you bet. There's a lot of it. Good. That's good. Wait, how do you know? Well, isn't it obvious? I wake up seeing someone who looks and sounds like me, which has to mean we share the same DNA. Then there's the glasses. What about them? They're fake. Probably just manufactured to make me feel more like myself, but completely unnecessary otherwise, because here I am with perfectly good eyesight in the womb module, which can only lead to one conclusion: that my body was created to replicate someone who doesn't wear glasses. You. And to do that, of course, you would need to have found rupidium. Besides, I can see no other explanation for a sheep inside a space base. Correct me if I'm wrong.
ふむ、このウルターは自分の状況を理解しているのね。
Wow, you're right. It's impressive. I did create you out of my DNA. We're not identical, of course. I can see you're not as quick to process information. And that's the interesting part. Yeah. Our bodies are the same, but our minds are not. I needed a scientist on board. But there's always a scientist on board. So, what went wrong? The old crew is gone. They're all dead. That's why I needed to alter myself into different versions. With the use of the quantum computer on board and something called mind records. Oh, I see. A recalculated mind based on an infinite amount of variables to contain the desired consciousness in a biological vessel. That actually sounds plausible. So, what do you need from me now?
休ませたいが人手不足だ。すぐに働いてほしい。
You have to get our research lab running at once. We need to make some improvements fast if we want to succeed. Then I guess the sooner I start, the better. You're right. Why don't you start with going through the mission logs? I need to get the full picture first. My thoughts exactly. Good. This might work.
自分の状況を理解しているってのは楽でいいな。サイエンティストオルターが普通じゃないんじゃない？今後作られるオルターには説明しないといけないだろうな。私以外のオルターに作業割り当てをしときましょ。割り当てないと仕事をしないのか？それは試してないね。生き残るのに精一杯でそこまで見てらんないよ。私が一応隊長になるわけだから、振り分けくらいはしとかないとね。お、エンジニアとサイエンティストが初開口みたいだぜ。あの二人、性格が合いそうにないわ。というか、サイエンティストと会うやつを探す方が面倒だと思うぜ。
I'm also young, obviously. This will never not be weird. Anyway, make yourself at home.
ファーストコンタクトは大丈夫だったみたい。 今後の生活に注意が必要だと思うぜ。これからどうする？まずはラピディウムを集めながら、会社からの指示待ちかな。ラピディウムアークをまず作るのか。いや、ラピディウムは絶えず消費する資材ではなさそうだから、最初に集めてしまおうかと。これが終わったら消耗資源の採掘に移るよ。お前一人で採掘は無理だろ。だね、オルターをもう一人くらい増やしてもいいかもしれない。